Hi everybody, welcome to the dungeon. My name is Robin and today is Flameworking 102.72 Silver Ruby. Silver Ruby is not on any color charts or anything. Just through research and development and my love for exploring color reactions, I have discovered for myself that ruby, a gold ruby on top of silver, gives you the most amazing rainbow halo. So let's play around with that a little bit in this demonstration. And if you've already done this, then you're one step ahead of me. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this one and are inspired. And also, I just want to make sure just to check that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any content coming out. And with that said, I hope you're all doing safe and well out there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the dungeon. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. Now, I believe I am starting out with just Effetri Black 064, but I'm almost positive. But when I was doing my research online, it looks like you can also use a dark violet transparent. That would work great for this as well, or probably a dark blue. So I'm going to go ahead and just get a small gather started for my footprint bead. And then just add a little bit more glass here and start traveling down the mandrel, making sure that my bead release is nice and warm. And you know, my bead, it's always under the flame. I'm never gathering really in the flame unless it's my first footprint bead, or I'm trying to like pull the glass away from the rod. All right, so once I get to where I like it, I'm just going to start rolling it out and getting into a nice shape. And I want the center a little bit wider, so I'm just going to add a bit of just maybe one or two wraps of black right in the center. And then we'll go ahead and heat that in. And we're just going to do that real quick. For those of you who are lean more towards the short attention span theater, I'm speeding it up. This is like on 2 times the speed. And then I'm going to let that cool down. Once that sinks in and makes a nice rounded shape, now I'm going to prepare my silver foil. This is way more than I need. I don't know what I was thinking, but here we go. So I'm just going to grab the end and just roll it right in there. And I'm just going to burnish it all down. Sometimes I think that maybe I'm using too much silver. A lot of times when I see other people's results, it looks a little bit lighter on the silver. So I'm sure that any, even silver leaf would work out well for this. All right, now I want to start adding the gold ruby right on top of the silver without melting in the silver foil. It might work just the same either way, but I really love being able to trap some of that nice foil right underneath the colors. So when I go to melt it in, you still see that shiny silvery foil underneath. And I'm just going to carefully put some dots on there. I think I have 5 on my round, but you can do 4 if you want to, if that's more comfortable for you. And then on the bottom half, you're going to add dots on the low side, right in between, and on the opposite side as well. And because it's gold ruby, we've talked about this already, but I want to be real careful where I am in the flame when I work my gold ruby. Usually I'm out a little bit further in my flame, even if it takes a bit longer to get there. And now I'm just going to start melting this in about halfway, and I'm going to add some more dots. And what I like about this, what I think is so cool, is that you can really melt this in but still see that silver foil. So you can, it's so hard to get the heat back down into the foil, but we'll get there in a minute. So first, before I add more color, I'm just going to spend a second to quickly push all of my dots down, just heating it gently and pressing it down on the marvering pad. It's much easier for me to do this for certain applications to get everything to quickly flatten out. Now I added some of the blue intense as small dots just around the center. Wait a minute, I think I just do have 4 dots. Maybe I thought I had 5 for a second. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, it's a 4-dot pattern. And then on the bottom half, on both of on the other sides, I'm going to add some dark violet transparent. And I don't even think it made a difference in the surface of the color after the fact. Maybe it made the surface a hair darker. I just couldn't tell. So you can probably skip this whole part. Or maybe, who knows, you could add a little tiny white dot and then a color dot. But yeah, that's just what I ended up doing. So now I'm going to heat everything up and get everything as hot as I can so I can start to see the silver foil melt. And this is quite a long heat. And I'm trying to just be patient and stay out there in the flame and just let all of the dots soak right in and, hopefully let whatever's going to react. Because a lot of times reactions like to happen under the intense heat. And if you're real careful about how you roll everything out, you can get a nice even pattern. Now here I see that like 90% of it looks nice, and then there's some bumpy parts. So I'm going to come out of the flame real quick and gently roll it out just to get back into a nice round. And then I'm going to continue to focus more of my heat all over until I have a nice shape again. And we're going to encase this as well. I knew you guys were ready for that. You might want to try it without encasing, but it will, I haven't tried it. I've always encased these. So now I am just going to let that cool down. And you can see that nice silver underneath. You won't be able to get that effect with silver leaf. I think I said silver leaf. I get them mixed up. I get very, what do they call it? Verbal dyslexia? That's what they call it. That's me. Okay, so, but yeah, you may not get that effect with silver leaf. It might be just too fine to stay nice and shiny. So let's go ahead and coat this in some clear. It's not a perfect, I have more clear on one side than the other. It's not perfectly even, but I'm just trying my best because I am, what am I doing here? I am coating a round bead, which is not as easy for me as if I'm coating a barrel-shaped bead, which this could have been. But I don't know. I thought I'd try something different. So I'm gently kind of pulling and walking it over from one side to the other, trying to get as close to the mandrel on the end side without touching the mandrel. And then when I'm done, I can give that a bit of heat. And I like the right side. So what I'm going to do here is just focus for a second on this one end and make it look real nice. And we'll be done with that whole shaping. But on this end, I'm not super happy. So I want to make sure that this clear butts up as close as possible to the mandrel. So I'm just going to gently heat the clear. It's really easy to overheat this. The clear gets hotter quicker than you think. I know I've said that before, but it's true. So make sure you're right by the flame and you come out and you just pull. Go back into the flame, come out, gently pull, and you'll see the clear is actually pulling itself over the color. All right, and now that I'm done with that, I will give it a little bit of help with the shape using a butter knife. And then I was real happy with this. So at this point, I want to just heat everything up. And it's okay to get these, I feel comfortable getting these beads like super hot if I want to, because I know that they're just in there reacting with each other. So I'm only trying to get it hot enough to round it out. That's looking pretty cool. I feel like I've been working with some dark beads lately. I need to get into some brighter colors. Now, at the very end, I did want to add a small pattern around this bead, some Swiss dots. So I am just going to try to add the dots in between the large dots under the surface. But for me, it was really hard to see what I was doing. I was kind of crossing my fingers and hoping that I hit the mark. And I apologize for my shakiness as well. In order for me to put these dots on exactly where I want them to go, I have to wrap my pinky finger around the end of the mandrel, and that gives me the control I need to hold the stringer in my fingers and then touch where I need to on the bead. I kind of figured that out very quickly on in Flameworking, and it just seemed like a natural thing to do, and I've always done it. So I do add my dots kind of more on the side than holding the rod on the top or vertically down into the flame. And we're almost done here, just a few more to go. All right. All I'm going to do is just melt these in about halfway so they don't pop off later on, and we'll cool it down here in just a second. And I do always take my time cooling things down, but with this one I just could not see anything until it came out of the annealer. Then I was really happy. And I hope you guys are too, and you enjoy this one and are inspired to give it a try. We'll see you next time in the dungeon.